All right, hello dear teacher Jenny. I hope this video finds you well. The purpose of this video is to give you a feedback on the last two classes that I attended. Remember, the first one was back in April, and from that previous visit, we found that the methodology used made students be in the center of their learning process, as well as the focus of the activities proposed using a communicative and gamified approach among the students, encourage them to use English to produce content about their own real life context. In this case, for example, about their preferences on their sportive choices. However, I've pointed out the importance of you to announce the objective of this session and as well the activities you were going to do and review the purposes of it at the end. So from that session, we decided that for the future, the focus area will be use of materials, formative assessment, and objectives and sequence. So let's start with the first focus area, use of materials. In the last class, you used different materials to put in practice the second condition. Use the board, the TV, some pieces of papers, the notebook. The idea was to use also a Kahoot and also to do a quiz, but remember, because lack of time, you weren't able to put in practice this too fast. So at the end, you use the first ones I mentioned, which was aimed in the purpose of having them producing the use of the second conditional. I would suggest when you continue with this topic next time to use some material that continues practicing this structure, this grammar structure, but in a communicative approach, having the same aim that we set out for our plan de acción institucional. In this email where I'm sending the video, you can find, for example, a board game where you can have the students to play like ladders, snakes and ladders, and they will go around and answer and ask some question within a group of 3 or 4 students maximum. So there you can make sure they are producing content, could be orally or written. Yes, they will have some questions and you can ask them to write the answers in the notebook or just orally or both. Okay, I know in the lesson I observed, you were only focusing on the practice part, but don't forget in this process, have them to show a production of it. Then the second area was the formative assessment, which I can point out that you systematically monitor the students' performance and you gave them feedback on how were they doing or checking for understanding, right? These formative assessment practices is great to do because it helps students to identify if they are making a mistake, and you can also take decisions in the way, like maybe go faster with the lesson or go slower because you are getting this information to change the direction of it. I will just encourage you next time also to use other formative assessment practices different than the hetero evaluation. You could, for example, foster peer assessment or self-assessment, okay? And the last area is objectives and sequence. At the beginning of the lesson, you announce the objective of the class and the activities that you're going to do with them. You could also have in mind the Bloom taxonomy as a guide to formulate this objective. I'm going to send you a link where you can find the verbs, the possible verbs where you can use. And another thing is, don't remember at the end, recapitulate the objective. So, okay, guys, time is up in the last like 2 minutes. So remember the purpose of this class today was to put in practice the use of second conditional. The idea was at the end of the lesson, you could identify a way of saying hypothesis or hypothetical situations. That was why we did this first activity, the second activity, yes, something like to recapitulate. And that will be it. So thank you very much for all your help throughout the project. I hope I see you next time, probably on October 27th at this event that your school is hosting about video games. Okay, take care, teacher Jenny. Bye bye.